So we are at the Future Cybersecurity Conference Europe in central London. We are all set up, ready to go. We've got our pens, we've got our flyers. There's some pretty awesome speakers on today as well. Anonymous is on at 10 o'clock and Edward Snowden is on at 5, so I'm going to sneak off and watch Edward Snowden later. There's quite a few stands here, so there's loads of different people turning up, which is going to be really good. There's James hiding because he doesn't like to be in the videos, but we're going to get him in later. We're going to have an interview with James. So we've had some really good conversations already this morning, and it's only 9:10, so we've met some people already. Looking forward to meeting loads more people later, and obviously talking about what we do and how we can help, and hopefully getting some good business. So I'm going to go and watch Anonymous at 10, and I'm going to go watch Edward Snowden later as well. So give you a little insight into what those people have got to say. And So Anonymous was really good. They talked a lot about the Chinese government and the fact that China in general is such a superpower in the sort of tech and security world. Apparently 90% of mobile phones are now manufactured in China, and around 90% of microchips are manufactured in China as well. And obviously that poses a potential risk. Their particular focus at the minute is on Huawei, the mobile phone company, which a number of countries have already pulled them from their 5G networks, and so they're not going to use them because there's concerns around security risks. So they took a lot of sense for me. I think I understand what they're trying to do. I'm not saying they're doing it in the best possible way, but I do understand what they're trying to achieve. One of the really interesting things that they pointed out is actually around. There's something in your location settings. If you do use an iPhone, and it logs something called significant historical locations. There's a really interesting way that you can go and have a look at that, and if you're not comfortable with those sorts of things being tracked, then you can turn that off. And I've put the details of how to do that on my Twitter feed, which is @RichMarigold. So if you're interested in that, please do go and have a look. We're sat down now for the afternoon. We've had some lunch. Lunch was pretty good. We've had some more decent conversations, and we have got Edward Snowden at 4 o'clock this afternoon, which we're really looking forward to. We've met some really fantastic people today. It's been a really useful conference for us, and I think it's definitely something that we'd do again. It's definitely something that I'd recommend if you have an interest in cybersecurity, that you come and visit, and we'll give a little update on what Mr. Snowden has got to say, because I think that is going to be the big one. Nobody's going to be able to get everybody in that room. It was rammed earlier, so we're just going to have to see how we get on. So we've finished the Future of Cybersecurity conference now. Come to the train station. Edward Snowden was the final keynote speaker today. He was actually very, very good. He was on a live stream. It was very clear. He looks really well, considering he's essentially exiled in Russia. I don't know if I expected him to look a bit wary like Julian Assange, but he doesn't. He's an incredibly articulate chap. He made some really interesting points. I think the three things that really stood out for me were that where we're supposed to live now in sort of free and open societies, actually, even though our society is free and open, our governments are now carrying out activities that are as bad as the regimes that we used to condemn and we used to oppress. So he even related current government back to the Stasis. The other thing that I found really interesting was when he was asked a question about Telegram, so the social networking site Telegram, and its operation in Russia, and the fact that it's been shut down by the Russian government because they wouldn't give them the encryption keys. What he's actually saying is that any level of technology will be abused by bad actors. It doesn't really matter what's created. Pulling down or restricting access to WhatsApp or to Facebook or to YouTube or to Telegram or any of these services doesn't really matter, because the bad actors are just going to move somewhere else. He even likened it to say that you'll get people that bad actors driving cars, driving on the highways, people buying knives. You can't stop one thing just because a couple of people use it unfairly, and I thought that was a fair point. The final point that he made, which is probably the most interesting one and possibly the most controversial, is that
while he doesn't have any agenda against the police or investigatory bodies, and he does believe in the NSA and the FBI and the GCHQ and the work that those people do, he does think that it needs to be better controlled and they need to be better regulated. But he does believe that actually denying access to the police and denying access to investigatory bodies is important for tech companies and for companies like Telegram and Facebook and WhatsApp. And encryption is important to protect people, because by doing that, what you are doing is actually ensuring that when these organisations are investigating, they're only investigating the people that really, really need to be investigated, and they're investigating them deeply and properly and carefully. Essentially going back to human policing, undercover work, embedding yourselves into group chats, engaging in conversation with these people and getting to understand them, rather than just gaining access via mass surveillance to as much information as you possibly can, because you think that it's going to give you access or it's going to give you insight into a very small particular number of people or a particular individual. I'd say overall I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed listening to him. I've never seen him before. The whole event was fantastic from certainly from a supplier perspective in iSTORM Solutions, and that we've had some really great conversations, and that's been really fantastic. It's very well organised. If you haven't been to one, I can highly recommend it. There's one coming up in Manchester. But I am ready to go home. My feet are killing. I've got an hour before my train, so I'm probably going to treat myself to a Burger King. But I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please feel free to comment below. Obviously give us a like and give us a subscribe as well if you're watching this on YouTube. And hopefully we'll catch up and do another one again soon. Thanks very much.